Why is the incentive for profit higher than the incentive for creativity on a creative-focused platform? Because how do you incentivize creativity? How does that even that doesn't even make sense. YouTube algorithm makes people's videos that are more creative show more. Wouldn't that require going through every video and making a guy who works at YouTube deciding is this creative or not? How does that even work? Another thing that could make sense maybe is if essentially, I'll have to start with this. The problem, I'm pretty sure it's mainly with kids watching mindless videos. Yeah, it's essentially for kids. Other people wouldn't really watch it. So the problem is really, why is the incentive highest? I'd say the problem is not why is there a higher I feel like you have to kind of look at it from a different angle than it being for profit. It's not that the goal is, the thing about the problem being that it's for profit as the highest incentive is that the way you get the most profit is by having kids watching your videos, which means you make just the most over-the-top videos. The over-the-top videos. The videos are like that, so disgustingly uncreative and profit-driven, because kids are watching it and they make money off of kids watching the videos. What if people did not make money off of kids watching YouTube videos? What do I mean by that? What I mean is we strengthen the hold, we make it, what's it called? TCP, you know, the service that's for protecting children media. I forgot. COPPA. We work with COPPA so that kids can't be advertised to. So people on YouTube need to show that they are adults, so that someone on the internet needs to be shown that you have to show whether you're an adult or a child to be on YouTube. And if you're a child, you don't get sent ads, but if the child doesn't get sent ads, then adults might just choose to go on the platform as a child to avoid ads. And also, COPPA would use that as a reason they would use it to ban more videos and put more videos under "this is for kids." So I brush my teeth and I think I have the answer to my question. Essentially, the way that we can separate kids from adults on YouTube, you don't need to use an ID, and you don't even have to stop showing ads to the kids. The way we can stop what kids watch determining what is the most visible in the algorithm is by separating kids and older people through the algorithm. So if someone watches kid sorts of videos. If someone watches kid kind of videos, then the algorithm will put them in the category of kid, and they will be affected by their algorithm. They will be pushed videos based on what other kids like. And for the older people, if a video is really liked by kids, but older people don't really like it, then the video won't be pushed to older people because the algorithm distinguishes the two. And I think if you do this, YouTube will be a lot more creative, at least if you're not in the kid half of the algorithm, because there's going to be more of an incentive to appeal to the older audience. And that at least would get rid of the kid-centered videos. It'll make it so videos aimed at kids will not affect the algorithm of older people, which will make the algorithm better for older people because it won't be infected by what younger people watch. And I mean, I think what older people watch should affect the kids' algorithm more. What older people watch, that should affect what is pushed to the kids, because if you make it so that the kids only watch videos that kids watch the most, then that's not going to be really healthy, because they're going to be watching the overstimulating video bunch. And you also need to know when the kid stops being a kid. You know, when the kid stops being a kid, they're going to start watching the videos for older people. It's either that or they're just going to stop watching YouTube. And then at that point, they will be put in the older people category and pushed out of the kid category. And I think this is a good strategy because it means that older people get a better YouTube that's more creative, and YouTube gets more people on YouTube because people are more likely to be on YouTube more if it has better content. And 3, advertisers, I guess, would like it more because more people are there. Oh yeah, advertisers would probably like it because it means that they know more who they're targeting. They know who they're targeting more with their ads. So they can directly put their ads towards kids or to adults. That doesn't sound very good when I say it out loud. I mean, whatever. Oh yeah. And also the people who don't watch YouTube because they think they're above it, they will see that YouTube is starting to be. And something else that could also help is if there's a way for people to control the algorithm a bit, because now there's just a home page where it's either I gotta get my cat. So as the algorithm currently operates, either you go to your subscription page and watch what we already know, or to explore, you go on the main page, and then it just sends you a list of things to watch, and you can't really control what it is. It just chooses for you what it thinks you'll want based on the algorithm. But there should be different categories that you can watch. There should be categories of entertainment. Like if you want to specifically go for gaming or comedy and animation, soundless, like something that's wordless. If you just want to watch something that's just visual without words, if YouTube can find a way to kind of distinguish those videos, or I guess if people can kind of choose to be in those choose where they are in there by selecting the video. And if you, I guess if you're wrong with it, YouTube would have to punish you in some way, because you can't just let people do that. You can't just be in the wrong category. That's lying to people. You can't lie to people. And something else I think would be nice is if you can control for how many subscribers that people have. Because if you want the feed to show you from people of 0 to 1,000 subscribers, or people from 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000, 100,000 to whatever, you should be able to choose those different categories, so that if I'm looking for niche, small YouTubers, I should be able to specifically look for small YouTubers, depending on what I feel like watching. Or if I just feel like watching big YouTubers, I should be able to just watch big YouTubers. Because that way, I have actually a good reason for this. Because that way, when the small YouTubers are shown on feeds to someone who doesn't really care to watch small YouTubers, then the person won't watch the video, and they're gonna hurt the small YouTubers' click-through rate, or if they do click, they're probably gonna leave quick. They're gonna hurt their retention. Small videos will be hurt because because viewers who don't want to watch small creators aren't gonna respond to it. But if someone specifically wants to watch small creators, I think there should be a way to do that. And I do see a problem with this. Maybe it'll hurt small creators, because if a large enough amount of people on YouTube decide to just watch bigger creators, that could hurt smaller creators. But I don't think it would have that big of an effect anyway. I think it would be more helpful than anything. And I mean, at the end of the day, you could just make it so that you can't choose to only watch bigger creators. It could just be, you can choose to watch smaller ones if you want, but you can't just have a 10 million subscriber plus margin. That's not allowed. You have to let smaller things exist. That could be fair. I think that would be really smart, because if someone is kind of sick with the monotonized or popular YouTube, and they're just sick with the feed that they've been given, and everything feels numb, which has happened a lot to me for a while, and they just want to watch small creators, that should be possible. They should be able to watch small creators. The algorithm would probably detect whether someone clicks on small YouTubers or big YouTubers more, but people don't necessarily click more on what they want to watch. People are kind of self-destructive a lot of the time, and they'll click on the videos that won't necessarily make them more fulfilled. So you can't trust them. They can't trust themselves. The YouTube as a system would need to trust the viewer to make a couple decisions on what they're watching, if they want to make those choices. They're not forced to make those choices. They could always just not choose these things, but they just see it's like 0 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000. But the basic thing, if you touch nothing, is watching everything with no optimized things. And the different categories I have been told by PewDiePie, the biggest YouTuber, that it was being misused back in the day, and an American YouTuber was in the Swedish category, but I think YouTube could probably not have that right now. They could probably fix that problem, because even if the smaller people might take advantage of it, people that are higher on the list the most popular people, it could be double checked. I guess that does take more effort on YouTube's part. Not necessarily sure if they want to make that effort. I think viewers should have more choice in what they're watching. It's weird that YouTube assumes that what will make me stay longest for an individual period is more important than what will make me fulfilled and want to come back to YouTube at a later time. Because I am aware that YouTube doesn't care about my fulfillment, and all they want is ad revenue. So I need to find a strategy that involves them getting as much, if not, no, I need to think of a strategy that makes them more ad revenue. If it's as much, they're like, oh, it's a risk, it's a stupid, unnecessary risk. How can they make more money from what I'm making? Because it's impossible to make YouTube not incentivized by profit. But, well, we can't incentivize it by profit without making it that YouTubers don't make money, which would mean that they can't make a living, and no YouTuber can make it their full-time job. They would have to have it just as a moneyless hobby. And at that point, don't use YouTube for that. Just make a different platform where you do that and try to make it bigger, because that's not what YouTube is. YouTube is a place where creators can make money, and it's a place where people can make money. Though they could also make money from things like Patreon and memberships. And I think that people are more likely to put memberships and give subscriptions to people who are more fulfilling to them and, feel better. And a viewer that subscribes to 3 channels and gives them $2 each because they really, really like them. Or again, $2 a month, that's a lot of money. $6 a month. Well, they give them $1 a month, and that's like $3. And YouTube gets like a third of that. YouTube would have more of an incentive to show these YouTubers that are more fulfilling. But we don't want to do that. We want to give money to these YouTubers on Patreon so that the YouTuber gets a higher cut. They get 90 instead of the 66% that's on YouTube. And that's fair. The YouTuber makes more money if you give it to them on Patreon. But if everyone were to give money through memberships on YouTube, and that became more of a common phenomenon, and if by doing that you could, not have ads and you're just giving money to the creators at 66%, though that's kind of silly. It should probably be more like 80%. Maybe. Or we could develop a YouTube culture where the algorithm encourages creators that people want to donate money to, which means that there is going to be an incentive for creativity so that people donate to you. You have to be your individual thing that people will love you for. You can't just be one of the things that they watch. They have to like you enough to give you money to do what you're doing. Like Shippage, for example. people give him money monthly because they want to. Though, I mean, sometimes that won't necessarily always work. Someone could also just, YouTubers would be advertising it a lot more, and you'd need a credit card to do it, and not everyone is really willing to pay money if they don't have to. I don't know. It is pretty ridiculous that if you give a membership, you still have to watch ads. If you give multiple memberships, why should you have a responsibility to do ads, you know? I mean, I guess that, wait, what was I saying? I guess YouTube, right, I guess the creators that would otherwise have been getting those advertisements are not getting it from you because you're paying money to other creators. So the creators you're donating to are getting money, but those you're just watching without donating to are not getting money. But this system is how we could make it so that the incentives on YouTube are to make people like you enough to donate to you, as opposed to make people tolerate you and watch you just meh. And all of this together, I think it could make the incentives on YouTube a lot less about profit and just making people watch you the most possible so that you make the most money possible, and it's instead about being more creative so that you can make more money, or just make, it's not necessarily more creative. People could also just like you without the creativity and just give you money. But I think if people want to give money to people that they like as creatives, who are you to say that those people that people are deciding to give their hard-earned money to because they like those creators the best? Who's to say those creators are not being rewarded for their creativity? They could also, to some extent, you could say, yeah, they're being rewarded for advertising their memberships more. But I think people would probably be more fine with YouTubers advertising memberships if this was the result. I don't know. Not many people really donate money that much. YouTube would have to take less of a cut so that people start donating on YouTube as opposed to Patreon. Or YouTube could ban the usage of external payment sources so that a YouTuber is not allowed to use Patreon to be paid. They have to use YouTube. And they can't use Patreon or Subscribestar. They have to go through the YouTube system. But if that happens, and if that does happen, YouTube cannot ban certain creators from getting paid a certain amount. I don't know how they could do this. YouTube would have to lower the percentage of money they take for memberships, because if they don't, that would be ridiculous and people would revolt. And if they take, I don't know, do they take 33% or 96%? I'm gonna Google. So apparently YouTube takes 30%, which is not as bad as I imagined. Okay, so apparently YouTube takes a 30% cut. That is, people complain about it being too high. I don't know, what percentage of money do they take from ads? It's probably too high, I think, yeah. Though YouTube should take a lower cut the higher the donation is, to incentivize people to give higher donations. Yeah. So that should be more of a common thing. People should donate more. That should be part of the YouTube culture. I don't know how we can make people... How can we make people less greedy and give their money to their favorite creators. How can we guilt trip people into doing that? I don't know. I don't know how we can change the culture to be like that. That is up to the culture to decide. Can we do that? I don't know. But with that said, these are the two reasons I think that the incentive on YouTube, that's why I think that there's a higher incentive to make profit on YouTube than an incentive to be creative on YouTube. I mean, there'd always be an incentive for profit, but that incentive of profit would be driven with creativity, which I imagine the creators will want because they won't have to sacrifice their creativity for the sake of profit. Because I imagine that creativity is their goal at the end of the day anyway, you know? They just want people who like them. They just want people to watch them. And that's my answer, yeah. Because my two answers. Children watch... What children watch influences the algorithm of older people. That causes the algorithm to show you more of what stimulates you and is made specifically for the sake of retention and just mindless, creativeless emptiness of Mr. Beast as an example, for example. And that would be more to kids. And adults probably also watch Mr. Beast, but I don't think adults watch Mr. Beast clones or that kind of stuff. I don't know. Some adults watch it. Most people probably don't. A minority of adults. But if it wouldn't completely solve the problem. But if we separate what kids watch from what older people watch, and also make it so that when younger people get older, they move to the category of older viewer, we can make it so that the algorithm pushes more creative content towards older people. That's one. And two is if YouTubers make more of their money based on memberships, and if the YouTube algorithm pushes people more if they have more memberships, that's important. That would go a long way to making YouTube more of a creative platform. That's actually a really good incentive to make people donate on memberships instead of giving on Patreon, because you really would be helping the creator a lot. Because with this reasoning, I think it's possible that YouTube could keep the 30%, the 30-70 split that they take from ads. They could still take 30% of it. But if they can make it so that the creator gets more out of a YouTube membership than a Patreon membership, because the algorithm pushes their channel more if they get memberships on YouTube, that could give people a reason to give memberships on YouTube. And that would be great, because if people like a creator so much that they're willing to give money to them, that is a really good sign that more people should watch that creator. And there is a loophole from this system. If whenever people give money, they get an on-the-time reaction, like in streaming. Like, there's more of an incentive to donate money to a streamer, because when you donate money, they'll react to what you have to say to them. So really you're giving money so that they react to what you say, as opposed to just giving it for the sake of giving money to a creator you like. And I mean, the YouTube algorithm could still push streamers more because they're being given more donations, but I think if you get donations live, that should count less towards the algorithm, because it doesn't show as much that they're being given money for the sake of creativity. They could also be just being given money because they want to see the streamer react to what they have to say. Though I don't have specifics pegged down as a magic, but it is pretty good solution, I think. Yeah, ArchWizarddCJ. That's the answer to your question. That's all, folks. I'm chill. Cheers.